Quick morning live stream for all my people that are awake with me. For all my morning people, this is a random live stream that I was not anticipating that I would be doing. I was not going to come live, get live on here today, but what is going on? Um, I got 30 minutes to burn until I start working, and I'm at my mom's house. Yo, what's going on, man? How's everything? Is that Devontae? Is that you, Devontae? Go to channel. Yo, Devontae, what's up, bro? How's everything going? I've been good, man. I've been good. I can't complain. I'm about to start going live on YouTube again. I honestly don't know what to create content on that much anymore. So I don't really create content like that. But how's everything with your job? I'm about to start. Um, oh dang. Have you been applying to other places? I'm about to actually I've been debating this recently. I've been trying to figure out how to take the existing group, Jimmy's still in it, and create something new from it. Um Not really about digital marketing per se. It was going to be digital marketing involved in it, but mostly other things in general, like things that I've learned and just consolidate it into a digital product. I was gonna make it probably pretty cheap, not that expensive. Um, because there's just so many things that I feel like when it comes to talking about digital marketing, it's almost like a disservice for other people for me to just talk about that when I have experience in so many different areas. So things like, mindset and mentality, you know, I've hired coaches. I've paid thousands of dollars for that type of thing. Even fitness. When I lost weight, thousands of dollars into that. You know, business, obviously, different types of business, even things about like science and stuff like that. So I had a person ask me the other day, how, like, they asked me how to move out the hood. That's something I could talk about. I feel like I want to make something for everyone, but at the same time, it's hard to deviate because of the algorithm. You know what people expect you for when they watch you on YouTube and stuff like that. So I really don't like talk. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know this because you're pretty good at SEO. When you do SEO all the time and then you have to talk about it, it's boring. I don't like talking about what I do. Um, Plus, it's such a small thing. Like if I'm being honest, it's such a small thing in the grand scheme of everything. Like SEO is literally just a tool. All the information is available online for anybody to learn. So I don't mind like answering questions about it, but when it comes to creating content, there's nothing that I can create that Nathan Gotch hasn't already created. You know what I mean? That's like commoditized information. Yo, Eric, what's good? What's good, bro? What's good? Yo, y'all work at the same company. I don't know if you ever met each other. But y'all work at the same company. I was just saying, I was just saying, yeah. And Eric, I don't think you met Jimmy, but I was just saying that my goal is gonna be on like I'm gonna try to make more content and stuff like that. But I don't really want to. I told you this before, Eric. I don't be really wanting to make content about digital marketing like that because I do it so much. Um, so I'm figuring that out. Facts. Yo, honestly, me and Cynthia, we're gonna be working on something. Cynthia's currently working on this group. It's separate from what I'm working on, but she's working on this group to teach people AI and stuff like that. And as a part of the stuff that she's working on, because Cynthia basically has an agency now. She's doing pretty well, but as a part of the stuff that she's working on, she's going within that group. Is I think she said it's gonna be like $33, and within that group, it's gonna be you're gonna be like she's gonna have like she wants to have meetups. So just throwing that out there. She wants to have like AI meetups. I'm pretty sure that you guys are both using AI a lot in what you're doing today. Yo, I'm gonna be honest though, man. I don't find AI exciting. Yo, how are you guys liking modern SEO? Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm getting like GEO, SEO, all this stuff is cool, but it's marketing is so commoditized at this point, in my opinion. AI operations is the new best opportunity. Yeah, I think the issue is it's hard to track. One second, responding to a text. Yeah, it's not really AI overviews though. I think AI overviews is a smaller, like that's not the issue in my opinion. I mean, I think that's an issue when it comes to Google, but I think like the bigger issue is more so tracking. Not just like an AI overview thing, but it's hard to track the search results from the prompts from LLMs. I don't care about Google. I care about being able to give clients something tangible that they can look at so that when they know that they're investing money with us, they know that they're going to make their money back. And in SEO, we have always operated on this whole thing of, well, I can't guarantee you results. And I get that. But at the same time, it's like that's what people pay us for at the end of the day. People pay us to get them results. Do I? All right. I should be back. Okay, I should be back now. Um, so what I was gonna say is I think the problem is more so in that it is harder to track outcomes towards a result. I understand that in SEO we have never ever worked off of guaranteeing specific results, but ultimately that's what people pay us for. Nobody cares about how good we are at manipulating Google. Like that's just the only reason why people care about that is because they can't do it themselves. So they're hiring us to manipulate Google but to get a result. So we are paid for a specific set of knowledge in order to get a desired outcome. And without that, like if you can't track anything, if you can't show any measurable outcome towards something, doesn't mean that people are not going to continue to invest in it. It's just that people are going to definitely invest in it, but in the same breath, the value of the channel is going to go down. Even though I always said SEO wasn't marketing. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I never considered SEO to be marketing because they're fundamentally two different ways of thinking about things. Even if you think that you're doing marketing when you're doing SEO, um, I feel like marketing is more the psychological aspect, which is indirectly included in SEO, but it's not directly included. So the intention behind what we're creating isn't often specifically with the intention of doing like fundies, marketing type things. It's more so fundies, SEO things, which can coincide. But that's why a lot of the times, like you'll when you search for a specific keyword on Google, you'll just see pages that look exactly the same, not pages that are actually the best. This is the best for the algorithm compared to the best in general. I didn't even know Google and Apple was partnering. Google and Apple partnering. Oh, they're gonna pay them to be the default. Uh, use Google AI for Siri. I mean, I really think that these companies are already monopolies. So it's just gonna get worse. I think Google basically monopolized search. Like nobody was searching this way before Google became a thing. Yo, I'm curious to ask you guys a question, just out of curiosity. Do you guys still buy courses? Do I think AI is a bubble? Mm, I don't know. I mean, I could see how people would say that it is, but I also could see how people would say that it isn't. Nah, I was just curious. I was just curious if y'all still buy courses because I haven't bought a course in forever, and I don't know people that buy courses like that anymore. So I was just curious. Like that's literally why I asked. The last course I bought, the last course I bought was actualized course, life, what's it called? Uh, life purpose course. I bought that. The only reason why I don't buy courses is because I feel like I'm gonna know majority of what's in the course, so it makes me wonder if I'm gonna waste my money. That's literally the reason why I don't buy courses. But if it was like for a specific thing that I knew that I had no clue about what I was getting into, I'd probably buy a course on it. Honestly, like most of the time, most of the time, like when I get a course, it's literally like I just have to feel like, damn, that's mad long ago, bro. Yeah, I would literally have to feel like I don't know anything. Like I don't know where to start. I'm so lost. I'm so confused. Dang, that's mad long ago. But I think that that's just like I'm starting to think that that's the market now, though, because I used to buy courses all of the time. Like when I was in the level the era of like upskilling, that's all I used to do is buy a new course. I bought so many courses off of Udemy. I bought so many independent courses. I bought so many courses, but and I finished the majority of them too. But I will say the best course that I ever bought was Dan Co's course. As far as like his course didn't really, I don't want to say it didn't help me, like, but it was a good course. It was like the most structured, well thought out course that I bought. The 2 hour writer, which was only $150. Like Danko's course had everything in it that I already knew. The only part that was helpful, like I already know all of the spirituality stuff. I already know all the philosophical stuff. I already know all of the, all the subjects that he talks about, that he like the epistemology and all of that. Like I know all of that stuff. Um, Honestly, I wasn't even into Danco. Somebody got me into Danco. Somebody that actually took Seth's course, funny enough. And then I bought his course, and I think it was the fact that he had a system that showcased exactly what he did to grow on Twitter in just 2 hours a day. The thing is, though, the I think the system was cool, but I think he, to a degree, it would have been better if he would have like actually made his course him doing the things that he said he did to grow and then applying them in real time and showing you the outcome of him growing a Twitter account. Like I think if he did that, that would have been amazing. Because when I was watching his course, I'm like, theoretically, I can see how all this works. Theoretically, it makes sense in theory. But when you actually apply it, there's so many things that's not right per se. And I don't know if it's because of the timing. Like maybe when he got on Twitter and he was doing that, that stuff was working. But a lot of that stuff that he talks about in his course, even though it was a great course, it was a great course. I think he's a great writer. But a lot of that stuff, yeah, it's like he showed his process and everything, and he showed like, you know what I'm saying? He showed like what he did and stuff, but it at the same time, it didn't really seem like, yo, thanks, Brad. Thanks for watching. Yo, Brad, you disappeared out of nowhere and then came back, bro. I haven't seen you in years. That's crazy. Um, I hope you've been well, man. Uh, yeah, his course was like, if I had to give a good review of it, it was a great product. I don't think it really helped me. All of the stuff he was talking about with copywriting, I already knew. All the psychology, persuasive tactics, everything. I already knew all of that. He needed to show like the actual results, like him doing it, him recording what he's doing, and him actually showing, look, this is the test that I conducted. This is what worked on this account, and this is what you have to do. I think if he showed that instead of using, he showed his account, but the thing is that he's connected to uh Justin. What's that dude's name? Justin Welsh or something like that. And all these other guys on Twitter that are they're already big and they were all roommates. So it just makes you wonder what portion of this is true versus what portion of this is just I'm just making a product just to sell a product, which I get it because trust me, right now I consult full time. It's what I do. I work with big companies and big contracts and it's up and down. Some months is up, some months is down. And it's annoying. And you feel like when you have the work that you're doing and you get new people that you're working with, you everything is great, but then you don't have time to go get more clients or go get more people to put yourself out there more. So that becomes a bottleneck. It feels like you're constantly chasing a hamster wheel. And then ultimately what you have to do is you have to find someone, hire that person, put them in place of you. But if they make mistakes or whatever the case may be, now you have to worry about that. And so it's frustrating. It's not, then sometimes you get too much work and that can get overwhelming. Or sometimes you're working with, a lot of the times what you'll work with is a lot of small business owners. And I work with bigger companies, but there's small business owners that will reach out to me every now and then. Like I had one reach out to me this weekend that I used to work with a while back, and he wants to come back and do SEO with me. We did paid ads before, and like that's a new one that like I could potentially work with, but there's the headache of having to educate him on how everything works and what, like what might go wrong, and that this is an investment and that he's not going to get 100% of his money back, right? Like we don't know. You have to like invest. You have to try it out, and SEO is a commitment. So selling that portion of it and having to do that over and over again. But again, while you're doing the work, you're lost in the work, and you're not like going out to get more clients. So if you lose a client, now you're screwed. So the good thing is that like you can make a lot of money working with clients for sure. To me, it's the easiest business to do as a beginner because you don't need a lot of clients to make a lot of money. You can make, if you get four clients paying you $2,000 a month, you just basically replaced your salary, right? Um, and that's $8,000 a month. Obviously, taxes is way harder on you as an independent contractor. So there's that. But it's like, yeah, there's a lot of things with this stuff. So I understand why Dan Cole created a product, because the product is the way that you can go on social media, create a whole bunch of content, and then monetize your content. That's what I did with my course. Um, I think like it makes sense to a degree. It makes uh I'm at my mom's house. My mom is getting surgery for her eyes. So I'm here taking care of her. And her internet is trash. But yeah, so I get it. Like making a product is always going to be easier. It's easier to scale. You can remove yourself from it and focus on the product. Then you have to ask yourself, well, what type of product should you create? So you could create like for example, I went to church. This girl, the new girl that I'm dating, I went to church with her last week, and 2 weeks ago, something like that, 2 weeks ago, and somebody in her church heard me speaking to somebody else because they saw my car. They were asking me, "What do I do?" And I was just talking, and the one guy was like, "Yo, I need to get that guy to teach me." So he reached out to her because the church is in New York. She's from New York. She's somebody I went to high school with, and she she so the guy reached out to me. Well, he reached out to her to reach out to me, and that's an instance where you have a product, like a digital product, and you could just sell it right there. You know what I mean? Like in person. Honestly, it's way easier to sell digital products in person if you have an audience, the right audience, than it is to sell it online because there's so much noise online. Whereas in person, you're literally right there. So people are going to believe you more because they get to meet you in person. So yeah. Nah, I'm not really interested in being a digital nomad. To me, it's overrated. Like, I don't really care to travel that much, to be honest. I'm like down with going through TSA and all of that. Like, it's annoying. I'd rather take road trips. And even then, I have a dog. Like, I like, I'm not, yeah. I don't like, and I also don't like spending money on things that, like, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna go to like for example, I did an ancestry test, and I found out that, um, 82% West African, and I'm from, um, majority of my DNA roots back to the people, Igbo people, African. So I would like to go to Nigeria because now that I know that about myself. to explore more and understand more about that. Yeah, they messing it up. They messing it up for real. Yo, one of the dudes that I watch a lot right now on YouTube, he's a part of like the red pill space, I would say, but I don't know, I think he's a little bit different. Is Marquette Devon Burton. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but I think he has some good content. I like the stuff that he talks about. There's certain things I don't agree with, but there's a lot of things that he says that's very well informed. Yo, to be honest, I was I'll keep it real with y'all, right? So, and Devontae, you know this about me. For the longest, I thought to myself that I would look at our people. Obviously, I'm from the hood. Like I grew up, you know what I'm saying, in Southside Jamaica, Queens. But I would look at our people and I'd be like, damn, man, everybody just keeps making excuses for how they are growing up and blah 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 blah. And I feel like maybe I didn't have too much empathy um, with a lot of black people because I would think to myself, bro, I'm from the same struggle as everyone else, and I made it further than the people complaining. And those people don't even seek out the proper education to put themselves ahead. But it's so hard to do that when systemic racism is really a thing. And I had to like really start to dig deeper into it to understand because I feel like I was kind of ignorant to it because it's just not something like my family's Caribbean, right? So it's not something that I really had anybody, put it in my head or explain to me all of the specifics. Uh, um, search for a specific keyword on Google. You'll just see. Yeah. So I didn't start looking into all the specifics until I really started to get into philosophy. Started reading a whole bunch of books from Plato, Aristotle, Friedrich Nietzsche, Dostoevsky, all these guys that I hear people like Jordan Peterson talk about a lot. And then I started to wonder to myself, where are all the black philosophers, right? Because I couldn't find them. And then everyone that I would find, what they would be talking about was basically the same thing. It would be, how we're oppressed and all of this stuff about racism. And for the longest, I downplayed it a little bit because I didn't realize how big of an issue it really is. Like, especially when there's so many. I think I will say that to myself that I got a little bit brainwashed with looking at like, Charlie Kirks and Candace Owens and stuff like that because there's a lot of content which says things like, why didn't the Jew like, first of all, by the way, I just found out since I'm Igbo, I'm a black Jew, but they would talk about like Jewish people, like the Jewish people and how they were slaughtered and how they were able to rehabilitate into the world and blah 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 blah. But it's still different because they were slaughtered in Germany, right? They were slaughtered in Germany, and they actually had reparations. Black people didn't have reparations. People say, well, why should we be responsible for giving you reparations when slavery didn't exist in this current day and age? And it's like, well, it's because like there's so many things like when you start to look into your history and your lineage and try to trace your DNA back, There's so many things that has been stolen from you that you will never be able to know about yourself. Like I'll never truly know what my real last name is. Like never. Like my last name right now is Ryan. That last name came from my dad. My dad was adopted. I know his actual last name from his mother is West. So my real last name should be West, right? He didn't have his father's last name if he wasn't adopted. So, but like but West is still not my real last name. Like West is still not my real last name, right? So I definitely was ignorant to it for a very long time in that I was one of the people saying, you shouldn't allow your skin color to make you feel held back. But it's not a matter of feeling held back or not. You are held back. Like even if you want to ignore it, like even if you want to ignore it, even if you want to say that you're not. Oh, okay, cool. Even if you want to ignore it, even if you want to say that you're not, like you are at the same time, that you're oppressed. That's what it is. Doesn't mean that it has to stop you from achieving more in society, right? Like people point at Jay Z and all these other people, and they say, "Well, why are they successful?" Because just because you're oppressed doesn't mean that it has to like fully stop you. It's just that you you just have to work a lot harder. Like you just have to work a lot harder than people, right? It is what it is. So I started looking up like why can't I find any black philosophers? Because everybody always talks about Marcus Aurelius. Everybody always talks about Friedrich Nietzsche. Everybody talks about all these wonderful thinkers of the world, right? Einstein and all this other stuff. And I could never find black people like that. And I started to do more research into the history and I started to realize that number one, all of Greek philosophy was learned from Egyptians. It all comes from Africa. Mathematics comes from Africa. That's how they were able to build pyramids. Everybody learned from black people. I'm not making this a race thing. I love white and black people, but I'm just saying this is a fact. Everything came from Africa. Yet there is no works of these people that are mentioned. Like I found a guy named Chinua Achebe, who is from the Igbo tribe. He's from the Igbo African tribe. He has a lots of books. He's a famous author, but nobody promotes his stuff in the United States. So my goal right now is this is why I haven't really been making content about digital marketing because I've been on a search. I've been looking at history. I've been looking at trying to understand like I've been trying to understand myself and then trying to understand myself it led me down this pathway of trying to understand black people and trying to understand like how come when I was younger I wanted to be lighter like I wanted to be in my family it was almost praised upon if you were lighter skin that's conditioning that's programming like I said I love all people of all colors but a lot of the times like when I watch Dan Cole he says stuff like disappear for 6 months and come back new because you have to create this anti-ego and put yourself into suffering. I can't relate to that as a black person because as a black person, you in the hood, you suffering every day. I don't need to disappear. I need to be visible. It's a whole different line of thinking. And you look at really got me down. This is when I started to look at like all my businesses. I said to myself, like in all my product based businesses that I've had, because that's what I care about the most. I don't really care about consulting. I do it, but it's whatever. I'm like, who has supported me? Like who has supported me the most? And it's all black people. All my products that I when I create content, I was talking to one of my friends, I had this profound realization. I realized that when I would create like content on different channels about like philosophy and stuff like that, I would barely get any support. And it's not because I'm not like this is so deep because I feel like people are gonna watch this and say, "Oh, he's playing a victim card," but I'm not. It's just that majority of the people that's into that type of stuff are white. Like, and then so they see me as a black person talking about that stuff, and it's not like a racial thing. It's just more so of a cultural thing, like a resonance. Like, I'm more likely to click on, if I see a black person talking about something that black people talk about, I'm more likely to click on that than I am if I see somebody that's a different skin tone talking about something that, like, for example, if a black person's talking about, how to like straighten your hair with a hot comb, I'm not gonna watch. If I see a video on that, I'm more likely to watch a black person than I am to watch a person of fairer skin. Like, right? It's a cultural thing. So I don't. So in the same breath, if I'm talking about philosophy, not saying that black people aren't into philosophy, but the vast majority of black people are not into philosophy. A lot of black people are more so into, if they are into philosophy, it's more about our ancestors and the things that have been stolen from us, right? And I don't want to say stolen because stolen sounds like negative, again, I don't want to play like the victim card because I have a lot of white friends and I have a lot of people who have supported me that are white, and every single time I've ever got stopped by a cop, every white cop has never given me a ticket. I've only gotten a ticket from a black cop. So, I'm not saying like white versus black or whatever. I'm just saying that we in history, our people are not recognized in the way that they should be. We basically contributed to everything on this earth, like everything. Like mathematics come from black people. Jesus is black. Like he's not. The Bible describes Jesus as a black man, but you don't see any black like pictures of Jesus, right? Like there's so many things that's just all wrong, and I'm just literally starting. I didn't even, I'm just starting to really explore history in this sense. So I say all this to say, like, what my goal is at least now with with the content that I create is to number one, in like bring to light more black leaders that have not been appreciated, more of their works, right? So that's the one thing I want to do. The next thing I want to do is I want to turn. Hold on a second. Um, so I want to kind of make a school group that highlights all of this stuff, to be honest. I want to make a school group that not only has a lot of my specific teachings and knowledge in there, but also teachings and knowledge of ancestors before us, right? Like I want to have like basically everything aggregated, all black philosophy, all all like things about history and stuff like that. Not to oppose us against anything, but to let people know where they come from because I was ignorant to it, right? Like me myself. And I think there's so many good there's so many good there's so many people out there. I don't know if people are gonna gravitate towards that because this channel has mostly been a digital marketing channel. So I know I've been helping people get jobs and stuff like that or learn about digital marketing, but you know, I want to support those who support me, and the people who support me the most on this channel have been my people. So um everybody's my is we're everybody's my people. I don't want to sound racist. I'm not racist, but I'm just saying um it's very eye opening when you start to do research into this stuff and recognize a lot of this stuff. It is truly eye opening. Ace Live, I'm gonna check him out. Yeah, I think like we have to learn more about. I feel like the truth of the matter is that like black people, when I'll say like people of color are the only people who genuinely need to start businesses. Like this is not a thing that we're doing or that we should do because it's like a fad. Like we are behind. Like we are behind, right? Like we're behind in every category. Like even with Spanish people still, even if they hate each other, right? Even if they hate each other, they all live in one house. They all pay the bills together. They're not separated. Black people are separated. Like we are behind. Like we're behind with education. We're behind in family dynamics. We're behind in like the economics of of America. We're behind in business. We're behind in so many different things. There's no there's no like there's no one roof. Yeah, we need ownership. Like this is not like a fad. Like this is not like as a black person when you go work a job, you're literally signing your life away because nobody is in a position of like it's very seldom that you find a black person in a position of power. Even if you're white and you're poor, right? Like let's say you're poor. This is what I'm starting to notice because I used to always make this comparison. Let's just say, well, there's white people that's poor too. Yeah, there is. But the thing is that this is not a race. I'm again, it's not a racial thing. This is a cultural thing. So like culturally, you have a natural inclination to want to help someone that looks like you. So if majority of America is that if the majority of America that's in the position of power, if they're like white people, right, which they are, we all know that, then they have more opportunity to get helped, even if they're not related. Culturally, it's not racial. It's not a racial issue. What I'm talking about right now, this is cultural, right? So I feel like with with black people, we don't have that. There's not a lot of black ownership to help. There's not. So this is not a thing of like we actually need ownership, or else our child like everybody that comes after us is gonna forever have to work a job, forever have to feel like enslaved to being a worker. And even the black people that's at the top, they're so detached from reality that they don't even try to help the people at the bottom. It's actually kind of crazy. So that's my goal. Like my goal is to build a school group which is geared to help black people. Like I want to help black people out in terms of education, in terms of business, in terms of speaking to leaders that look like us, in terms of understanding our roots, understanding all of the history, what tribe you from, like understanding like how everything originated in Africa, where our money originally came from, what type of businesses did we have? Like this is all the stuff I want to learn, right? Like when Mansa Musa was the richest man in the world, see, like let's make a comparison, right? You had Mansa Musa and you had Marcus Aurelius. Everyone talks about Marcus Aurelius and how he was this humble guy and he was trying to be like a great human being and he was giving back all his resources to people and stuff like that. What people don't realize, and I started to do research on this, Marcus Aurelius had slaves. How good of a person can you be if you had slaves? I can't take none of that shit in meditation serious. You had slaves. You talking about like this person's on this level and there's a hierarchy and structure and blah 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 blah. But you had slaves, my guy. I can't take you serious. You know what Mansa Musa had? Mansa Musa was the richest man to ever exist, ever, ever. and he bankrupted the whole economy. He bankrupted the whole economy because what he did was, right. This is the mark of a good. Um, okay, so here's what Mansa Musa did, right? What Mansa Musa did was he basically had all the money in the world, took the money and started giving it to everyone because he wanted everyone to be on an equal playing field. No matter if you were black, no matter if you were white, no matter if you were Indian, no matter what you was, he distributed the money across everyone. And he distributed the money so uh poorly, which wasn't really poorly because it was done from a moral standpoint. But he distributed the money to the point where he bankrupted the whole economy. Money lost its value. That's how much he didn't care about money. That's to me is a true leader. That's who we should be reading. Like he should have a meditations. Like he didn't care about slaves. He didn't keep them in a spot. He put everybody on the same playing field. Everyone. So you know what I'm saying? Like I can't read a book like Meditations, listen to a guy who's telling me about morality and all this other stuff and treat people equally and all this other stuff and you got slaves. I can't listen to you because now your actions directly go against who you are. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't listen to you. I'm preachy right now, but it's the truth, man. So that's my goal. My goal is education. I was speaking to a dude, like the dude I was telling you about that I went to the church, the girl I'm talking to right now, and the dude is talking to me. He has no clue how to communicate. He's a grown man, and I'm not judging him. I'm like before I would have been. Now I'm looking at it like, damn, bro, like you really don't know any better. Like you really don't know. This is what you grew up in. And the thing is like for me and my transcending, me trying to put myself on a different level because I'm not a millionaire, right? I still have struggles just like everybody else. But me, it's in my bloodline, man. Like I'm from the Igbo tribe. They all entrepreneurs. You know what's crazy? I didn't even want to be an entrepreneur. I wanted a good job. Like when I first started getting into digital marketing, I just wanted to make $60,000 a year. That was it. I didn't even want to be an entrepreneur or do anything entrepreneurial or have any side businesses or anything like that. The only reason why I started doing that stuff is because I started to realize how greedy people are. Like you could be the best employee, you could work hard as hell. Guess what? Every 100 times you do good, they only gonna remember the 3 times, the 3 strikes that you got, where they come down, they sit you down, they write you down and say, "Hey, you did this wrong. Let me write this down." Right? They're gonna write you down once, then they're gonna write you down again, write you down again, and the third time you out of here, you out of here. They don't care. You could do the best that you possibly do, get the best results and everything. Hey, you're not meeting the performance. You're not meeting the performance. That never happened to me, but I saw that happen to people. So when I started to realize that you could go sacrifice your whole life to a job, and these people don't really care because all these companies are privately owned, but they're all privately owned by the same people, right? That only have one agenda, one motive. I'm like, yo, why am I going here and I'm working so hard to, and then you don't even know if you have security in your job, right? Like, you don't have no security. They could just fire you at any moment and say it's all a matter of perspective. Oh, this person wasn't performing well. What is good performance, right? The moment I started to think about it like that, I started to realize the flaws in the system and how the power dynamics is all messed up in corporate America. That's when I started to be like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I can't rely on somebody else because I don't know. I'm a trustworthy person. I have morals. I have moral standards. I can't trust if someone is going to reciprocate the same trust that I have for others in me. I can't. I can't like I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know. I can't put my life that like that I'm creating in someone else's hands. I can't do that. I don't know what are you gonna do? I can't trust you. I've been in too many situations and circumstances with people who I called friends that turned on me. Friends. Like growing up in the hood. So what you think I'm gonna think about going to corporate? I see these games that these people be playing. They be playing all these types of games and stuff like that. I'm thankful for the great people that I've met. Don't get me wrong. I love those people. But I can't rely on these people. I can't. They don't care. I done seen companies lay off people that were great workers and then because they lost clients or something went wrong with their operations or they messed something up, rather than taking a pay cut, they just laid people off, right? Cool, lay people off. Now 3 months go by, everything good again. They start hiring. Instead of reaching out to the same person that worked with you for 20 years that did a good job, you got a job position listed online. Not yo, hey, how's everything going? Did you get a new job? Can we bring you back? Because there's a new opportunity for you to come back and we'll pay you more because of all the hardships and everything that you had to go through and you were loyal to us for 20 years. They don't do that. They lay you off, be like, all right, have a good life. And then 3 months later, take the same job that they just laid you off for and put it online. Don't even reach out to you. I knew companies did stuff like that when I was working at a company, when not working at a company, when I was interviewing at like a long time ago. I was 6 years ago. I was interviewing at this company in Philadelphia called Idea Evolver. Idea Evolver. You can look it up. It's an agency. They made me go through all these hoops to see if I was qualified to work there. All of these hoops. I blew every single test out the park. I did amazing on everything. I still got the email. They emailed me and said, the whole team loves you. Unfortunately, we had to put this position on hold. I'm like, they have to put the position on hold. Let me see if I can find this email. I'm like, they have to put the position on hold. I'm like, okay, no problem. You know, later on, I found the same position online. And when I found that position online, I sent them an email like, hey guys, I already went through your interview process. I still don't got a job yet. What's up? And yeah, look, it's right here. This wasn't 6 years ago. This was almost 5 years ago. Um, I can't even share a screen, but I'll read it. Hi, Drayshawn. Apologies for the delayed response and thank you for taking the time to meet with us. It was a pleasure to learn more about your skills and accomplishments. Unfortunately, this position has been put on hold. We will keep your resume on file for future opportunities when they become available. Thank you again and best of luck. I said, all good, Ryan. Thanks for getting back to me. Out of curiosity, is there any feedback that you or your team has with regards to how the interview went? This dude said, didn't get much feedback beyond that they thought that you would be a great fit. That's what he said to me, right? All of that in the same breath. That same job position was put on the market the next couple months. I had a job and I had like a lot of stuff going. I didn't even need a job at that time, but I was like, whatever. I reached out just to be like, yo, I went through your interview process. I didn't say like y'all wasted my time, but I went through your interview process. Y'all told me I was good. The position is back. What's up? Right? They said, "Oh, they didn't even respond. They didn't even respond, bro." So you'll take a candidate, put a candidate through all of that, waste their time, right? And then for the like, yo, let me tell y'all something. I'll tell you another story. So I don't know if y'all know Nick Battles, but Nick Battles, that's my guy. Me and Nick, we go back. Me and Nick go back, or whatever the case may be. And I had got Nick a job at a company called Happy Cog that I was working at. Because I didn't he didn't even need to have an interview. That's how I was so good at that job and I had so much influence at that job that he didn't even need to have an interview. I told them to hire him and they brought him in the next week, right? Um, they brought him in, so he tried to repay the favor. He tried to get me a job at a point when I needed one. And I went through the interview with his company that he was in at the time, and I did great. And I knew more than the director. The director at their company, she interviewed me, and I knew more than her. She actually said it. I said something that was foreign to her that she didn't even know. And they reached out to me and said that they were putting the position on hold. Then I saw it online, and then I saw that they hired someone else. I was like, Reached out, hey, what happened? They said, hey, we decided to go with someone who had more experience than you. What? Had more experience than me? No, 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 no. I sent them back an email. No, 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 no. I told Nick too before I sent them back this email because I was like, yo, bro, I'm about to spaz on your company. I'm just letting you know. Are you okay with that? And he was like, he didn't say like spaz on them because I didn't spaz on them in an unprofessional manner. But I did let them know like that I knew that they were lying to me. So I responded and I said, she said that the candidate had more experience than me. I responded, I was like, no, the candidate did not have more experience than me. I actually had more experience than your director. I don't know if you remember that. But your director literally said that I had more experience than her. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that it's okay. You don't have to lie to me if you don't want to give me the opportunity. Just say you don't want to give me the opportunity. I would rather you tell me that than to sugarcoat it. That's what I said in the email. They never responded. And I don't care. I wanted them to know that I knew, right? So so it's like, yo, all of this with corporate America, I had a company that I was working with that their clients were getting the best results that they ever was getting, but then they were stalking me on social media and they were getting mad about my social media account and saying like, "Oh, we want you to post us on your social media." And I'm like, "For what?" And they're like, "Because, like we don't know if you're fully committed to what we're doing at this company." What? Your clients are getting the best results you ever got. What are you talking about? Crazy, man. So this is the type of stuff you got to deal with, right? And this is why I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, ownership is important. Ownership is important, man. And like I said, it don't gotta be from me. Like all this knowledge and all this education, I'm still learning. It don't gotta all this don't gotta be from me. But I think there needs to be like a group like a school group that which I'm thinking about creating. I don't know yet. That just has all of this stuff in there. That has all the books that people need to read if you're black and you're not educated on this stuff because it's hard to find this stuff. It's hard to find this stuff. Like you have to actually be into this stuff to find it. And then it's like, well, what do I start to search for? It's so much, it's so many things, right? So I think like understanding your language is number one. English is not our first language, right? So you need to understand that. You need to understand your what types of food you're supposed to be eating in your body. What you're supposed to eat is different than what society is selling to you, right? Because you're different. Like we're in America, we're the minority, right? So our bodies is just gonna be different. This is gonna be health, wealth, and relationships, man. All of this. I never thought, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never thought I would be like preaching about this stuff. But when you realize how important this stuff is, right? Like this, there's some people who come into this, like Jay Morrison, for example, who is scamming a whole bunch of black people. We don't need that. right? We don't need that. We need people to who have actually done things. Like I've actually went in corporate America. I made my money in corporate America. I got out. I started working for myself. I'm still working for myself. Working for myself is up and down, up and down. I care about oh, you went to this corner class? That's funny. Um I care about education, man. I actually wanted to build a school. Like one of my dreams was to build a school in Africa. Even before I knew about my DNA and all of that, I wanted to build a school. I care about education a lot. I think education is what you need in life to succeed. I like you just need to be educated. And I think it's more than just business. It's like you need to understand business. You need to understand like how all of this stuff impacts you generationally. You need to understand marketing. You need to understand value exchange. You need to understand. It's so many things you need to understand about just being black. It's not just being black, but it's like this is a core part of it. There's different types of black people, right? We're all different. So I just think all this stuff is important, man. So I'm thinking about, like I said, building a school group around this where again it's all going to be around education, it's going to be around business, it's going to be around our people, it's going to be around ownership, it's going to be around all of this stuff because this is more important to me than like teaching digital marketing and stuff like that because it's something I didn't even know. And this literally started because I was reading philosophy books and I was trying to figure out where's the black philosophers. This is literally why I started. Vast majority of people, I don't even know what where I would start, man. Like what type of content I would create around it. I do know one thing though. I do want to start doing more live streams. I think live streams, you see how I'm just sitting here talking? This is my like this is my cage. Like this is not my cage. This is my format. Live streams, podcasts, stuff like that. The boys Watkins. Yeah, man. Education is key, man, to everything. The Black Business School, I like that. Yeah, I would definitely do something like that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm looking at him right now. Black Business School. I don't like his right off the bat. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like his this sounds crazy, but I don't really like his tagline. Don't just climb the corporate ladder, build one. I don't like it. But that's not like I'm being a hater. Um, let's see. Yo, I guess my question is though, like, what did this dude do before making this? Because that's another thing. Because like for me, for example, like I can't talk about options and trading and all that. I don't do that. I could get somebody who could talk about that though. But I'd be curious to know like what. Let's see. Is he an actual doctor? Watkins credentials. Oh yeah, he is. Finance. Okay, cool. I don't even know if I would call mine like Black Business School. I'd probably call it. Yeah, that's the thing I don't intend to do. Like if I build something like that, I don't want to, work with scammy people or I just want it to be an education hub. I might not even make it super expensive, honestly. It might be like $20 a month or something like that. And just like make it like a black online university or something like that. Modern, university for black people or something. Only thing is that it it's so hard because I don't really want to make it if I do make something like that. Um it's gonna be difficult because I would have to flesh out like what exactly. I don't know if it's gonna be like a business school because I want it to be more about like identity, I guess. I think so many of us, bro. I went down this whole issue of figuring out what is my identity. Honestly, that's how I got into philosophy. Like I didn't really know who I was from running down a rabbit hole of chasing the newest opportunities and trying to really understand it was so weird because I was just trying to understand like what business could I build that I would genuinely be happy with based off of this thing called identity. I started to realize that identity is not static; it's always changing. So it's almost paradoxical in trying to find your identity because you'll never find it because you're always different. So there's that. And then it's like but there are things that can contribute to your identity, and I think what contributes most to your identity and the reason why I feel this loss of identity is the history of your culture, right? Like you have to understand your ancestors and the people that came before you because that's how you got here, right? And so it's like to a degree, if you don't understand that, you don't understand what they were doing, you're kind of gonna feel lost in a sense. Like knowing that I'm Igbo and knowing that Igbo people is they were like entrepreneurs. I know why I have an entrepreneurial drive now. There's something called epigenetics. Epigenetics is basically like the things that we do are passed on through our genetics. There's certain things that you do that like let's say for example, I never grew up around my dad, but there's things that I do that's just like my dad, like folding my arms. My mom told me my dad does this. That's epigenetics. You know what I mean? I sometimes when I'm on the phone, I walk back and forth. I never seen my dad do that. My dad does that. My When I'm like sitting down for too long, I start like moving my leg, my foot up and down. It's epigenetics. And my dad does that. I didn't grow up around my father, right? So there's mannerisms that's rooted in our DNA that are epigenetics, right? So like there's that needs to be a whole thing of understanding, because you'll never really be able to understand yourself if you can't trace back the roots of your history. That's another thing that screws us over, right? Like, and you could say like it's all perception. You could say like, well, well, what if your great 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 grandfather was a slave that came from a company, a tribe that all they did was shine shoes, right? Well, then you could still work backwards from that. You could say, well, shining shoes is basically cleaning. You could say, well, was he good at cleaning? Do I enjoy doing that? Maybe there's something there, right? Like where people invested in music, right? Like what were these people interested in? You know what I'm saying? I think this is all important. Plus, to be honest, there's not enough Black history being taught, anyways. There's no people that like schools don't teach you anything about Black philosophy at all. I'm tired of watching people like I love Dan Cole. Right? His content is great, but I'm tired of watching Dan Cole. He can't really give me advice. Honestly, everything that he says, I already know, and and like it's not relatable to me. It is relatable, but it's not at the same time. So it's like that's my guy, but like that's like a peer. I look at him like a friend. I don't look at him like a teacher. He's just someone who shares the same thoughts about society as I do, right? Even though I watch his content a lot, it's just because I like it. It's cool. I want to see more Black people working with Black people, more Black businesses supporting Black businesses. Like, do we not realize that when you see executives from companies making multi-million dollar deals, a lot of the times these people are just supporting each other? It'd be a white person and a white person, and they come together and they support each other to do business together. I don't see, I had a call with a company the other day, Black owned business, to do SEO. I told her it was gonna be $5,000 a month. I didn't tell her it was gonna be $5,000 a month actually. She picked that package. I went through all these hurdles and all this stuff with her to the point where it was like, yo, I had more work coming in my way, and I was like, I can't do this. Like I gotta focus on this other stuff that I have coming up now because I have more things to worry about. Not worry, but like more things to do. And she just like I gave her all this information, and it was just all of this stuff that I didn't want to deal with. And I was like, damn, you really don't care. Like you really think I'm gonna scam you or something. You really think I'm gonna harm you. You really think I'm not gonna help your business. Like, not that you don't care, but you think I'm gonna harm you even though somebody recommended you to me that made you millions of dollars. So you could keep that energy.